iffy. So I'm gonna do my intro. What's up, guys? Hey, my name is Rick. I'm a financial coach and the owner of the Debt Free Mafia. I'm so glad that you stopped by. Wanted to talk today about online banking and why you need to be a little bit hesitant before you just sign right up, or if you're using it, why you should be cautious and potentially consider using a brick and mortar bank. So, guys, real quick, if this is something that you find valuable or interesting, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. We talk about debt-free living, we talk about leaving a legacy for our children's children, we talk about being wise with our finances. We live that lifestyle here, so you're welcome here. We'd love to have you a part of the Mafia. Again, hit subscribe. Also, if you don't mind, hitting the thumbs up helps me out a whole lot. So let's talk about it. Neobanks. What is a neobank? So if you don't know what a neobank is essentially a bank that exists that doesn't have a physical location. So it's all online. It's all, you access your money through there. I believe if you wanted to get like cash out or something like that, you can go to another bank that they might be sponsored with or have a partnership with and withdraw it. And I have had customers that have been interested in Chime. So a recent article from ProPublica has come up, and it's kind of talking about, what you should really be cautious about, especially with Chime, because Chime has had some really sketchy stuff here lately. So let's kind of talk about that. We'll dive right into it. Again, I just appreciate you for stopping by. So I hope this is helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you and we can talk about it. So this is Chime Bank. So let's talk about it. What is the issue with Chime? So Chime is a neobank. Again, a neobank is something that is really easy to set up. It's very convenient. Also is very attractive to low-income people. Reason being is because they usually don't have minimum balance fees. They don't have overdraw fees. They typically have a lot of really cool features that a normal bank doesn't have. However, there's some issues, and we're going to kind of dive into that. So the reason I want to talk about this is because it's a growing interest. I think this particular bank, the Chime Bank, it serves 12 million people, I think. Sorry, I wanted to pull up some notes. But serves 12 million customers. What's really crazy, and we'll talk specifically about Chime, is since April 2020, they've received 920 complaints that have been filed with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, who essentially is in charge in the government to make sure that banks are acting fairly, right? So the funny thing is I was reading this actually on Reddit, and Reddit was talking about how it's actually quite a few more complaints than Wells Fargo, which usually is the leader in banking complaints. And if you keep up with the news, you kind of have a good idea why they do that, because they've had some really sketchy stuff themselves. So anyways, let's kind of talk about this. I want to talk about they've had, in this article, I'll link this one below. They have several examples of actual people who had just horrible experiences with it. But essentially what has happened and what's become a problem is they have put their money in these online banks, and the bank will all of a sudden flag it for fraud and shut the bank account down, essentially freezing it. And I don't know if you guys have ever had your bank accounts frozen. I have, because I went through bankruptcy. But if you've ever had your bank accounts ever frozen, it makes life super difficult because you cannot do anything. You literally are stuck. You can't withdraw money. You can't use your debit card. Your money can't be moved. So anyways, I kind of wanted to talk about this just a little bit. This story kind of talks about just his experience and how embarrassing it was for him. And then kind of goes to talk about how many complaints they've got. It says 197 of these 920 complaints involved a closed account. Which is just nuts to me that they automatically closed the account without even consulting with the customer. And a big reason is, why are they closing these accounts? Well, a big part of it is because they've had issues with people essentially committing fraud with unemployment. So it says down here, fraud obtained unemployment insurance or federal stimulus payments. So it's essentially like people are trying to collect extra stimulus payments or unemployment or partake in unemployment fraud. So that's a big part of it. I also thought this was interesting. I know something's going wrong if it as a Facebook group. So it's funny because there's just several Facebook groups that have popped up here lately just absolutely bashing Chime. Obviously people are starting to come together to talk about it. It's becoming an issue. A lot of people have had issues because they didn't have a bank account and they wanted to get their stimulus check faster. So they created these Chime accounts because you can make a Chime bank account super easy, and that way you can have your money automatic deposited and not have to wait on a check. So a lot of people did this. And then unfortunately a lot of people got stuck. Like this, it says, I'm a single mom with 4 kids. They stole $1,400 from me and refused to get it back. And they're about to be evicted, right? It's a really sad story. And the thing is the thing that really bothers me as a financial coach is you don't have the ability to go down to the store and talk to the manager. You're stuck behind the email wall, right? Which is, we all know if you've gotten stuck behind the email wall, which feels impossible, because you don't even know if this is a real person or not. So, anyways, kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about, why these things were getting shut down, right? So again, people were using it for, there was some fraud going on. However, Chime does not have a good fraudulent detection. I don't know if you call it section of the business or department, right? They just kind of are just really loose with marking people as frauds. And trying to, I'm sure they've gotten some pressure from the government, or else they probably wouldn't be doing this. However, it just seems like they didn't have very good of a comb to be able to comb through to get it. So I kind of want to talk about this also, is talking about why Chime was appealing at first, and it was like, because it only takes a few minutes. Services welcome customers with spotty credit histories. It doesn't require a credit check, has no monthly fees, keeps other changes to a minimum. If you don't know what that all adds up to, is it says that their target audience is low income. Right, and unfortunately, a lot of banks who target low income typically tend to be predatory. A lot of them, you want a bank that is helpful and wants to help people, but at the end of the day, a lot of banks, majority of banks, they want to make their interest on stuff, and they want to make money at the end of the day and not necessarily help people. So again, it talks about for customers who sign up for direct deposit, Chime offers 2-day interest fee advances on paychecks. Again, advances typically have a track record of targeting low income. Again, the bank's best interest is usually at heart in these scenarios. I don't know what the terms were on the advances, but I'm sure it's just knowing how they've behaved already is probably unfair. Again, I've never used Chime personally. If you have used Chime, in the comments, so I am genuinely curious. If you've used Chime, let me know. What was your experience like? Also, I'm curious if you've ever used a neobank. If you've used a neobank, let me know what that's like. Essentially just an online-only bank. Let me know, because I really am curious. So I know that they're really active on social media. This even kind of talks about it. I've seen memes from them. They're growing really fast because, again, it's just really easy. Typically things that are easy to sign up and online and that target low income typically have pretty rapid growth at the beginning. But kind of another big deal that I wanted to talk about when it comes to Chime and neobanks is they're technically, by regulation, not a bank. So this is where I really tell people to pump the brakes whenever you're signing up for a neobank, right? Chime is not a bank, and it's left in a no man's land when it comes to regulation. This is according to Alex Horowitz, Senior Research Officer for the Consumer Financial Project, Q Charitable Trust. There's actually this article goes on to talk about how California and the state of Illinois both filed complaints about a Chime system that prevented customers from accessing accounts left unable to pay their bills. And it went down to where they eventually had a ruling. They had a ruling where they weren't allowed to call themselves a bank anymore. So, and it's funny because this article has this great little ad right here. This is a screenshot from their website, and it says, "Banking that has your back. Free overdraft up to $200. Get paid 2 days early with direct deposit. Build credit history with no interest or annual fee with credit builder. Grow your savings, right? See, it sounds a lot like a bank, right? But if you come down here to the fine print, Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services are provided by Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank. So essentially, they play middleman, even though they'll hold on to a lot of your money. So I thought that was really interesting. Again, I am curious. What are your thoughts? This has some more. This has some more stories of some folks that essentially got screwed from Chime. So let me know, what are your thoughts on neobanking, online banking? Again, if you've used them, let me know what it was like. I'm just curious. I know some people have had good experiences with it. I'm just curious. This kind of goes on again that they really are generic whenever people are filing complaints and asking, hey, what's the deal with my account? A lot of just really red flags for me. This is not a service that I would recommend to any of my clients just because it's so sketchy. And again, there's been so many difficult experiences with it so far. So guys, I'm just so thankful that you stopped by. I hope that this was helpful. Again, if you have used Chime Bank or any other neobanks, let me know in the comments because I am curious. Also, if you don't mind, if this is the kind of stuff you like to see, if you'd like to see more content on the debt-free lifestyle, what it's like to pay off debt, debt-free mindset, that's kind of all stuff that we talk about here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'd love for you to be a part of the mafia. Hit the like button if you don't mind. I really appreciate that, guys. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.